I may have faced my nightmares, but I think Kowalski's biggest nightmare is going to be jumping back into what he does best. Or maybe he's used to it by now. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Crime Scene Cleaner. And I am super excited to be back here because, earlier we went through Kowalski's new career as a criminal fixer, then explored his nightmares. The things that stuck with him about this that he didn't necessarily express. And then we dealt with the community and their mysterious intentions. But this latest free DLC that's released, another free DLC, is an official second chapter to Kowalski's story, and it claims to be the end for now. Because at the same time, they've also announced the first paid DLC after a year and 3 free ones. The Biohazard update, which I am also super excited for. But yeah, it left on something of an open note. Things were hopeful. It seemed like our daughter was being released from the hospital. We had finally gotten our life in order, got some cash in the bank, and though he was probably on the lam, we were at least on good terms with Big Jim. But, well, we also saw how fickle that relationship could be, so I'm pretty nervous to know there's more. Part of me was relieved to know that we were out of it and that all these DLCs could be ignored as non-canon.
Remember, Dexter, bones I collect are not snacks. They're evidence.
Which is all the more reason they should be snacks. Get them out of here. And never trust a man who owns a pig farm. Anyway, it's actually telling us to go to bed. But the DLCs remain. As you can see, we've still got our ghoulish hands and our different skins. Proper supervillain lair we've got down here now, huh? And that's partly why I'm so glad that we got to play the Nightmare DLC before jumping into this continuation, because while it may technically be non-canon, it is canon in that we got to explore Kowalski's real character more than we ever really did in the base game. Because in the base game, he would clearly react with horror to some of these scenes, question his new job. But he didn't really have a choice. He had that excuse. And it was nice to be able to see that he was much more deeply affected than he let on. Where in the base game, he would often react with, like, a joke or some sort of comment before moving on and just doing it. There was the sense that he took some form of pride in how good he was at it. And in the Nightmare DLC, he got to confront those demons, and disturbingly enough, seemingly embraced them. And so I've been under the assumption that maybe Big Jim comes back, but now that he's free, it's entirely possible something scarier happens and he decides he wants this. Maybe he starts freelancing in the face of nothing to do. After all, he's got a particular set of skills, right? I guess technically Community is canon, it's just kind of a weird side story. Hospital. I don't think our nightmares are done yet. It says move the furniture back to its place. We're missing a chair, some pillows. We need to set the room right.
It's hard to believe she's finally coming back after everything we've been through.
Dr. Alice Ronson, Dr. Hugo Stevens, treatment status completed. It is generally 2000 something, keeping it deliberately vague. We don't even know our own first name. Look at this, we're in the one part of our life we were powerless to clean up ourselves. Get well soon, Elena. We're praying for you every day. Everyone in our class is missing you so much.
Everyone? Even that bully Elena told me about?
Somebody left their lunch here. It's too good to be true. It feels too good to be true.
Her favorite toy. She even wanted to be an astronaut at one point.
No, we're not done here. Everything's set right.
I think that's everything. We can finally say goodbye to this place.
School?
Back to work.
Oh, hey. We actually are finally getting to work your actual job. And though we still have our headphones in, everything is duller and grayer. Even the messes are less messy. It's always been your skill set, but not something you liked doing. Man, that is so cool. I was even thinking, like, a while back that I would love to see a mundane mission where we just do your regular work. Well, here it is. We need... No. I've got to relearn this. We need the garbage bag, which in this case is just a paper shredder that I stole from the principal's office. Hey, I'm not the one paying for it. Oh man, how did you kids manage this? How did you manage this? I mean, it's actually not that bad considered some of the boys' rooms that I had to deal with. And good on you for making your own protection here. Alright, it looks like we are actually going to have to take this somewhat seriously as a cleaning level, thankfully. The school provides all the infrastructure we need. Oh right, we also have infinite detergent now. So let's just make it so that we don't get stained anymore. Washing surface area will probably help. And what else? I'm so curious to see where this is going to go. Also, do you think Kowalski, now that he has more confidence, will just follow students down the halls, rattling chains and moaning at them? I feel like if I ever had to go out with a bang, that would be worth losing my job for.
This isn't really exciting or satisfying, but at least I can sleep at night.
Yeah, that is part of it, huh? But the question is, are you going to be able to stay that way? You seem unsure. This is really cool. It's a stylistic way to play out the return to our life through gameplay. What is that? Reserved. This is the only naturally clean one. Okay, maybe this stuff can be found around the place. Anybody got any toilet paper? I'm looking for some. Also, is there anywhere to actually throw this stuff out?
Working here is almost like a holiday, after all the things I had to do for Big Jim.
Once more, you seem unsure. Or maybe I'm projecting, if we're being honest. Hey, are we reading somebody's notes? Seems unbecoming of a janitor. My ultimate blacklist. Father, don't call me Dad, you little crap. Principal Anderson, do we have a problem, Mr. McCormick? The entire basketball team, except Earl, all the girls in my class, except Nadine and big maybe Carla. My definitive whitelist. Mom, my best friend Eric, our biology teacher, Miss Pessel, she gave me an A. And our janitor, Mr. Kowalski. Just a cool adult, which isn't that often. You are stinking right.
And it's not the FBI's most wanted list.
See, you're moving up everywhere. It's a Walter White situation. Everyone can feel that confidence/cringe radiating off of you. It's just that different people see that in different increments. And look at this, we're coming into work with all the upgrades we learned on that job. It's training. If anything, the government should be paying us for this. Let's put you back up where you belong. That's 84% of stains. There we go. Down to 97%. Put you back on the board. The best high school football player is looking for a date for prom. If you're a beautiful girl who would look great with a handsome guy, get in touch. Chad Handsome Johnson. Well, he's got proper assessment skills, of his looks, if not social norms. Have you seen my ducky? If so, please contact Bobby. I've seen duckies. Quiz Lovers Club is recruiting new members. We play Gamdle, Scrundle, Time Guesser, and Bandle, and so many other games. If you're big-brained, contact Alex Science. Well, with a name like that, they were bound to go places. An art competition for students in grades 1 through 3. Topic, pets. Please submit your artwork to Mrs. Smith. Okay, well, thankfully we don't have to deal with the actual classrooms. After what the Shirt Brothers pulled, I don't want to have to deal with that ever again. You go back here. What else is missing? Well, you need to go in this thing. There's some hidden toilet paper elsewhere. There we go. Once it's touched the floor, do you really want to put it back on the rack? Whatever. I just do what they pay me to. Significantly less than before. You, come on, one more thing. The soap. It's gotta go back somewhere, or do you count as trash? Alright, I'll shred a bar of soap. Why not? And that cigarette. Now all we need is one more piece of furniture. But what is it? You! Sorry, you can't reserve this. This place is public and for everyone.
Working for a mob was a wild ride, but everything turned out okay. Elena's healthy now. Big Jim went completely off grid. And I'm back to where I started.
Well, at least this is somewhat lively. Wow, we threw a big ol' party. And we've got some new music. I've discovered so many great artists through this game. That's one of the coolest things about it, is that it knows that it's a game that you're meant to play idly, you know, when you're in a Discord call or when you just want to wind down, even for its subject matter. And so it gives you a huge soundtrack to listen to, all cooperating with these artists. In fact, I've even gone on some of their channels and seen videos of, like, the artists themselves talking about Crime Scene Cleaner. It's so cool. But of course, the downside to every party is the big cleanup at the end. Huh. Did we forget to pay the electric bill? I know we've got the funds. You can't tell me we don't.
Poor Dexter. Nobody's getting any younger around here.
Aw. Sweet 16. Oh! 5 years have passed.
What can I say? My little girl is not a little girl anymore.
Or at least 5 years. So, after all that, we did at least earn half a decade of happiness.
Elena, we need to have a serious talk.
Seriously? After all that time you spent in the hospital? Smoking can seriously F up your life. You'll die and take others with you. That's the real translation of that notice. So it's not quite happily ever after, but compared to the potential outcomes, it really is. But all the while, there's a sense of dissatisfaction. It's everything you wanted, but you had that taste. And there's no putting that genie back in the bottle. Get in there. I never, when I came across this game on Steam, would have expected it to be as deep as it was. And with these DLCs, the fact that we are exploring inward and, you know, having more to do with our character and his life rather than everything else is a huge swing. And it's paying off big time. But, you know, with this voice actor and with the setup that they created, I think after seeing the reaction to the base game, maybe they realized what they had captured here. and decided to lean more into what really had potential, rather than just giving us more levels. I mean, don't get me wrong, they did give us more levels. But a game like this very easily could have missed out on its potential, so it's awesome to see it not doing that. Alright, there's still some trash hiding about. It's always the ceiling fan. Get in here. Alright. Moving forward.
Elena is basically a grown-up at this point. It's not easy, but I guess I must learn to live with that.
Yeah, see, before it was easy. We've got to do it for her, our little girl. But she's probably a lot harder to deal with now that she's grown into an actual real person. Back to school once more. Oh, look at this idle animation! I didn't even realize it had googly eyes on it! Yeah, I definitely think they realized what they had, not only with the story they were telling, but with how much the voice actor brought to it. I love this guy so much. I've heard him in other games also. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the same guy from Drug Dealer Simulator. But this is really neat here, and it's actually brilliant. We're repeating the school section. And you might say we already got the point, but the whole point of this is to convey the passage of time. And so the repetition is necessary here. Even though it's a different room, like, we see it with this grayer color palette, which isn't actually present, notably, in the hospital or in the apartment back there for the party. It's really cool because it emphasizes that, for as horrible as it all was, for how much it affected us, it was something new and different and engaging every time when we were in that line of work. While here, it's the same bland thing every day. It's essentially replaying the same level over and over. Even the messes are probably the same. I don't need your help right now, although it seems I did keep the tools of my trade. We've got to bring back all of these things. Yep. Actually, is this the music that was giving me problems? I may have to do something about that. Man, this thing is a real bottomless pit in this level, isn't it? Maybe there's some kind of exception carved out for it because it knows we have nowhere to get rid of garbage bags. If so, nice foresight from the developers. Let's just get rid of all we can. Oh man, bringing these trays back is going to be the biggest pain. Oh, you're stained. Wow, we can go curling with these. Hang on. I'd forgotten about the sponges. You're not going to let us put you in, are you? Maybe it's fine? Well, if there's any problems, we know where to look. I don't know. The other mop. You're the one we need.
Shitheads make a mess, and I have to work my ass off.
Every single day. Even if you've earned a bit more respect, it probably doesn't feel like much comfort. You know, I really have always hated the person who is the first to belt out, but it's the janitor's job to clean it while they make an unnecessary mess. What a mess. Get rid of you. I think these are here specifically to keep us longer. Specifically to let us sit in this. It's kind of a level that's like deliberately not that fun. And in this case, it works.
Working here.
And that's why we're still in echo mode. Because rather than any of these representing a literal day at work, they represent how we've continued going through these motions even while we seemingly left this behind. But it just doesn't hit the same. What is it with these developers where they always seem to know the best angle to approach these things with? Because the thing about telling a story like this is that there's a lot of ways to do it. We can see and praise it for what it does, but when you're a developer, you're always making decisions where you came up with alternate ideas for how to portray things, and you're not sure which one to go with. Deciding which idea is going to be good to me is way less stressful than deciding which of the good ones you'd rather do. Okay, what is left around here? Well, a massive mess over here, that's what. So that's gone. Oh boy, what's behind the counter? Amber alert for one of our classmates. She's going to Dad's school now, huh? Where her dad's a janitor? She was last seen in the Quiet Hills State Park at approximately 6:30 p.m. on Sunday, August 10th. She was seen wearing a blue t-shirt, dark-colored pants, and blue sneakers.
She's the same age as Elena. I hope they find her soon.
Something tells me we might be the one to find her. Well, I guess we're cleaning the kitchen as well.
Even wiping blood was better than this.
Even? Oh, man, I had forgotten what it feels like to clean these stains when we're not using all these detergents. I should have put the gloves in there. Okay, that's all you. Where are you? Somewhere you're hiding 7% stains. Do you think the kids see me doing this ever? Just running around punching the stains to death?
Elena's going away to college soon. I'll be all alone with this pathetic excuse for a job.
Huh. See, we always made... That's an interesting angle. Her going off to college. Because our whole thing was we were doing this out of responsibility and duty to our daughter. But we're bored now that she's back, and so the prospect of her leaving might be the opening. We're not putting her in danger by going back, and maybe we'll see that as the green light. Okay, where are we putting you? Back up here. Right on the rack where you belong. There. There. Where are the rest of you hiding? Here. Just 4 more things, and then we're good. There's still a bit of trash, and there's still an elusive stain somewhere. That's gonna drive me insane. For a long time, I resisted the urge to use the detective vision, but I just couldn't after a while. Play this game enough, and you just can't be asked. There's one. It looked like it may have still been hot. Bread baking in the oven. Ah, there we go, in the dark. Explains why I couldn't find it. We're allowed to move on earlier, but come on, I've always done it perfectly. That little piece of paper up there is mine. Now we just need to find the furniture that's out of order.
Something is blocking the way.
Yeah, I got it. Now, what else have you got for me? Yep. Just one more thing. There it is, last thing out of order. Hey, professionals have standards, right?
Home, sweet home.
We always come home to the same place. And up she goes. Gone by in a flash.
So, today's the day. I don't think I'm ready.
Oh, look at you. You're just an old man now.
I don't like what you're thinking, Dexter. We can't just rock here without her.
Once again, it's just the two of us. It's the ideal life story, getting to see her grow up and thrive. And it comes at us in such a melancholy fashion. Moved into the old room. Got to be her own person. Ooh, what is this? I mean, look at this. She's got such an eye for style and culture. I would be really, really proud if I walked into my daughter's room and saw this. Liberty and Percy just set up Home Alone-style traps with way more lethality. And that's saying something, because those are some deadly traps. Alright, you go... No, you go... Somebody goes somewhere. Are these not going to behave properly? You're doing it right. Oh no, we just need to put you at a ridiculous angle.
Mr. Tony. She abandoned you too?
At the start of the level, we collected you from the hospital.
Elena's redecoration project. Now it's me to finish it.
I'm sorry, did you plan a pool for this place's future? Alright. Almost done. Even throughout her growing up, she still needed you for something. Now we just need to get your luggage.
Like just yesterday, she was listening to my bedtime stories. Now she's an independent woman.
Loading up the truck with something positive for once. Telling the story of this guy's life through the game's mechanics is one of the most brilliant gameplay and story integrations I've ever seen. And when I first came upon this game, I never would have imagined that this would be the one that really recognizes its sauce and continues to cook for over a year and through 4 DLCs, with a 5th on the way. $25 this game is, for everything you've ever seen me do and more in this. Where's the rest of her boxes? Are there still some things in her room? According to Detective Vision, this counts as luggage. You're going in here. What else? Ah, this and this, of course. You? One more and she's gone. And we'll be dropping her off at college in the pizza truck. We get to embarrass her one last time.
So, this is it, Elena's leaving. Next. Elena's missing us already, Dexter.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to get that through subtitles. What's going on with this volume? Because I feel like the music is... The master is down, but no, we need the music to be way lower so we can hear the dialogue. Huh, there's a streamer mode. Are you sure you want to proceed? You will not be able to continue cleaning further. Oh, I think I will be cleaning plenty further. Things left behind. So here's your new place. And it seems we inherited all the nonsense we collected.
Hi, Mr. Kowalski. It's Amber, Big Jim's daughter. Did you miss me? I know you and Elena are doing great, but if you want your carefree living to last, you have to clean something for me. I pay better than my old man, no worries. But if you fail me, it's a sick world out there. Who knows what could happen to your daughter?
So, here it is. A wake-up call I never ordered. I really believed it was all behind me.
You really were willing to put it behind you. I've always loved how this space reflected where you were in the story, and being able to actually see you get to enjoy it for some time is something I never expected. But just when we thought we were out, they keep pulling me back in. Huh, look at that, we actually did get our pool. But Big Jim's daughter, I'm pretty sure we heard about her only in one mission. She had thrown that party that went horribly wrong, so we've worked for her before. We still have that creepy mannequin in the corner. And it seems we've even upgraded our setup a bit. Multi-monitor. Being able to see all this change is awesome. But Dad's cave remains just as it ever was. Can we close ourselves in to hide during the SWAT raid? We can. We even got in shape. Oh, no way, we can play Super Stacker. We brought the arcade machine home. I don't remember if I noticed that before. Amber Alert. Dave seemed nice at first. He was handsome, had a lot of money. Many called him the king of the ring and a true business mogul. I believed him when he told me he knew my father and promised to take good care of me, get me a job and everything. I had no idea he'd make my life a living hell in a matter of weeks. Someone had to deal with him. Let's just say he didn't manage to defend his championship belt in the last fight. And since trash won't take itself out, I need you to handle this, Mr. Kowalski. Like in the good old days. 12 bodies. We're only hearing your side of the story here. But after all these years... Let's keep some perspective here. She might have genuinely been in trouble, but she is also Big Jim's daughter, and she threatened us first. So let's keep all that in mind going in. The pizza truck rides again. Amber Alert. Without Big Jim looking out for her, Amber is left to her own devices. That means a new trail of blood for me to wipe, and a lot of dead bodies that will end up in my trunk. Here we go again.
It'll be a long night.
You've waited a long time to say that.
Mobster's daughter becomes a ruthless criminal. What were the odds? Still, I had to play along. Elena couldn't find out about the things I've done. So, however you looked at it, I was pretty much fucked. Amber, I'm ready. Even if a little rusty.
Yeah, we made quite a mess, but I'm sure you can handle it. Cleaning blood is like riding a bike, for all I know.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, I need you to do your best. It's very personal this time.
Big Jim was nuts. He was paranoid and violent. She just seems to enjoy it, and between the two, I'm not sure which is worse. But right away, she's starting with a pretty big body count. Of course, if we remember the one other time we were adjacent to her, that was a pretty big body count as well. Seems like this everywhere she goes, and I've really got to wonder why now. It's a scary thought that all these years later, this person we worked for one time still knows and thinks about us. You look like you're just a waitress. And you were shot in the back as you were trying to run away.
Was she one of the killers, or was she just trying to run away?
Actually seems pretty clear from my perspective. There's the first of many. Look at all this. Good luck on your first real job, sis.
Sometimes the first job turns out to be the last.
I can't help but think back to that one waitress at the pizza restaurant. The one who was also just a low-level employee and happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all this is, a bunch of egomaniacs fighting their little wars against each other and all the people who pay the price in the meantime. This game can take an extremely comedic tone at times, and it never lets that distract or detract from the seriousness of the situations. It's a very hard line for a game like this to walk, because if it was too brutal, if it was too just sad, it would be very hard to enjoy as a chill game, but it's all there for you to engage with as much as you want, or you can just put your headphones in and ignore it. Well, maybe you can. I really can't. That's done. Best bet usually is to take it one area at a time, so you all know the drill. I don't even know how many episodes I've made on this game. Funny enough, it started as a one-off, but this is one of those things that you guys really seem to take to. Sometimes that just happens. Oh, we need to
clear the way
move
first.
you back. Am I really gonna have to take everything off this table so I can do that? There you go. On the bright side, the dream level just now was a perfect way to get the Smooth Operator achievement. All these levels and I'd never done it. You get it for completing a level without breaking anything. What else are we dealing with? Oh right, fire extinguishers. I've got to get back on the walls where they belong. Right there with you. Oh man, this is definitely going to be a long night, isn't it? Boop. What is this? The Not-So-Subtle Art of Becoming a Ruthless Warrior by Rita Morgan. Is that a Dexter reference? Whales don't fly anymore. Why is it that the sentences that end up on walls seem to be the ones that seem dumb at first, and then become so thought-provoking the more you dwell on them? And furthermore, why do they have a supernatural ability to make you dwell on them? This can dwell in my pocket. Oh, right. This is real in canon now, so we are back to stealing. According to this, there's a lot more still to be done. This is what's considered the staff area, so we've got a lot of work to do. There we go. A couple of our detergents, actually, this isn't really the best thing for this. Sponges are better at cleaning out tough stains. Come on, Kowalski, you're out of practice. Actually, it's kind of appropriate. We're at a boxing ring, and we're proving to be a contender. I do not want to have to fight my way out of it. That is one skill set that Kowalski never developed. We can also take out our UV light to find out if there's any stubborn stains that are still remaining in the dark. Thankfully, it seems like we're still pretty skilled at our skill set. Oh, no. We're not as skilled as we think we are without our tools. I need my tools. See, Kowalski is also known for his resilience, his ability to jump back in after seeing something that should make him question it all. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always questioning. Which is just a sign of good intelligence. My teacher would be proud if they could see me today. Hang on, wait. I'm dwelling on that sentence, too. I say teacher as if I only ever had one teacher. And I don't know what's funnier, the idea of one teacher seeing me throughout my entire education and how weird that would be, or the idea of referring to teachers, plural, without the S, like there's some kind of herd animal. Anyway, that's all clean. A dropped phone is evidence. Cassie says, I spiked their drinks like you asked. Good. Just leave the door unlocked. And hide somewhere safe. Still can't believe we're doing this. Better start believing. Tomorrow we'll finally be out of this hellhole.
Cassie and Amber. Who or what made you so desperate?
I guess you were noticed on the way out. Well, I mean, some literal heavyweights here. They probably lasted a little longer than you expected, right? Elder Gnome Stout. Interesting. Is this still considered the staff area? Okay, it is. Good. I don't even want to open these doors until everything else is done. See, in a line of work like this, where you see such horrible things, it's important to compartmentalize, both mentally and in the tasks available. Otherwise, it feels overwhelming. Being able to break things down into smaller groups is a very valuable task in life. So, you see, Mom, video games are educational. Especially the violent ones. Oh my god, pick up that shell casing. There's 3% blood left. The ghosts have actually followed me from that home all the way through all of this. That cat is still here, I swear. "92% of trash, but I'm not seeing any more stains." This is not the staff area, which means I do not care to even look at it. Wow, did you see that mess? Hello. Is that an electronic lock? Wait. Up and down. Is this a dumbwaiter? Well, I mean, there was a dumbwaiter here. I'm talking about the elevator. First of all, do you go anywhere here? You do not. Aha, there's more to this. This is where the stash goes. Ooh. You're telling me that there's a cassette in there. How do we get in? Maybe it's the obvious thing? It is not. Okay, you belong here. And what about you? No, actually, so I guess it's particular ones to particular spots. Maybe there's a correct arrangement? There you go. All of these count. Have we just unearthed like a Resident Evil puzzle down here? I honestly wouldn't be surprised knowing this game. They're all different types of dwarf. Wait. The one upstairs. The Elder Dwarf. Let me out. These things are moving all over. And I can't see the label. Yeah, not Elder Dwarf. There's 4 of these in total. And if I find another, I'm gonna have to rethink some things. So this is one of the things that also helps with this game, is that it's very task-oriented, but also you'll often find these things where it's like, no, I need to take this detour and see where this goes. There's so many secrets. Well, that's the 4 of you. Elder Dwarf. Something Dwarf. Monaster. I can't read that. And this other type of dwarf. 2 of these are the same, just different colors. Oh, see, this is why we need the UV light. I don't like using detective mode for this stuff when we have a tool that's specifically for this. It's more immersive this way. But there is still trash around. which will perhaps be highlighted when we pick this up. See, there was still more of this broken bottle. One area at a time. And now all we have is a missing piece of furniture, but what? Oh, it's right here. There we go. Okay, we'll come back to the dwarf puzzle later. Meanwhile, we'll move you up for when we need you. It's actually good because— No! I did not want you to do that. That was a long-range pull you just did. Okay, well, we're gonna have to redo you. Look at this place.
This is much bigger than a drunken bar fight.
And again, with a whole lot of innocent staff caught in the crossfire.
Is Amber working with ninjas or something?
I don't know, but into the trash they go. So, this is to be our next mud hole for the next few minutes. But with all our upgrades, I'm convinced we can make quick work of it. See, I'm looking around to see if there's some particular order that those kegs are meant to go in.
You've had too much, big guy. Let me walk you out.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. That was a pretty good quip. Maybe you have still got it. Remember, with the deposit of you, we are only 1/6 of the way through things. Wow. Everything's going nuts in here with the physics. Okay. Behind the bar is home base. Whenever you're cleaning and you don't want to track stuff all over the floor, you need to pick an entry point that you can work from. We'll just dump our garbage bags right here and pick up any broken and shattered glass. There's a mixer.
Poisoning drinks is not a bad idea. Unless the bartender takes a sip from the shaker.
Uh-huh. So it was a poisoning for a particular person that, well, ended up dosing every single person here. A mass casualty event, poorly planned. Unless the goal was to take out this whole place. Which means that a lot of this may have been vomited. Just a whole bunch of doomed people fighting each other in a rage. The scene that played out here is honestly one of the more disturbing. It's like a movie I don't want to sort of somewhat spoil by saying its name. Look at that, bloody hands, like you tried to steady yourself on the bar. But there was only so much you could do. That's one of my favorite things about this game, is the environmental storytelling. It's very easy to just come in and clean everything up before you have a chance to be told that story. But it's very meticulously detailed, and a lot of it does just come down to imagining the scene. But there's a lot going on where you can imagine several different scenarios for every piece of debris and litter and gore on the ground. I'm not looking forward to starting the mopping process. Oh wait, yes I am. I mean, hey, you've got to be somewhat satisfied coming back in with a bang. If anything, maybe this will be what you need to put you off of it. If we were starting off with a small job like you did initially, well, maybe you'd feel like you were just dipping a toe in the water, like this is attractive to you. Could still happen. Although I am sort of proud, especially given what we learned of him for not succumbing the first time. We can combine these garbage bags. So many tips and tricks that I wish I had known when I started. Blood on red carpet, really? This is the kind of thing UV lights were made for. And it's why we need to carry one. I think I mentioned it in a much earlier episode, but there was a game years ago called Indigo Prophecy, and I would just replay the demo over and over again because it started with you inadvertently committing a murder in a crowded diner's bathroom, and you had like 40 seconds or something like that to clean up as much as you could and get out of there. And there were a million different ways it could go depending on what you did and didn't do. I always like to imagine this game from that perspective. I like to imagine, what would it be like if I had to dip and the cops came in right now? Because this place is still, no doubt, a mess, but it would already not be telling the same story as it did when I arrived. Really, in any repetitive task, I like to think of how things are changing as I go, as a means of sort of motivating myself, to make it feel like things are drastically changing with each bit of work I'm doing, even if in reality, it's really not over until it's over. You want to work around these things. All of this is potential for damage. Oh no, you're glass. You're already damaged. But thanks to our handy-dandy detergents, this stuff lasts quite a while.
All nice and sparkly.
Why did you say it like that? That was adorable. But yeah, as I mentioned, I think a big part of the decision to continue this story from Kowalski's perspective, and very much about him, probably owes a lot to the original plan, but also to the actor. He's just extremely likable. I mean, he's great for the quips, but he also does bring in that nuance that allows you to tell a more serious story. I'm seeing a lot of places you should probably be going, and you're not going in a lot of them. Were there no stools on the front of the bar? Strange choice for an establishment of this caliber. And hey, now that I've cleaned it up in minutes flat, it does look like a pretty nice place, doesn't it? Oh, well, we haven't cleaned up everything. Thank you very much, handy-dandy UV light. One of these days, we're going to have to do True Cleaner mode. True Cleaner mode allows us to do all of this, but there's, like, no detective mode, and it doesn't tell us our progress. So we've got to meticulously find all of this. Some of it can be surprisingly easy to miss. Can you just imagine that? Somebody comes in the next day, looks around, all oblivious. Where is everyone? Usually they've opened up shop by now. Looking in the back and around corners, can't find anything, finally sits at the bar, is waiting, and finally picks up their elbow and realizes that it's stained in blood that blended in with the wood. Having no idea just what a horrific scene this was hours before. Okay, how much of you need to be picked up? We're missing 3 chairs. You just count as regular garbage now. I'm not gonna lie, my brain and my peripheral vision had completely filed this away under Clown Nose. Where's that pool table? Right over here. Are we gonna put it away properly? I guess we don't need to. You're a long way from home, little guy. How'd you end up all the way over there? Alright, I suppose we should be starting with bodies. Really? No line for this one, huh? Okay, I didn't think so, but the yellow line made me think that maybe you were some sort of shortcut. We're gonna need one, and we know there's going to be one because the entrance hall is a door we've yet to unlock. We're gonna have to find ourselves a key card. And with that, 25% of the bodies have been removed. Is that satisfactory to us? Certainly not. Well, now that we've got another bucket, we can move this one up. Always a bounding strategy when it comes to your buckets. And bucket strategy is, like, the Sun Tzu of janitors. That sounded a lot cooler in my head. Ah. But then again, we are the boxing janitor. Do you not? No, you're a different type of chair. Where does a chair like this belong? Ah, more at the dining tables. Let's get that table cleaned right up. I mean, Kowalski's really just revisiting his college job now. You and you. Whole lot of shattered glass. We don't want any of the kids running around here barefoot to step in it. But you are using a much more plebeian chair. Okay, we might as well give this the cleaning it deserves and start working on the floors. Somebody came this way even through all of this. So we know that Amber got the waitress to poison all these drinks, and then it's delivered via the vector of the bartender. Things went a little out of hand because of him, but it seems like this was going to go pretty out of hand regardless. The question is, how did she get tracked down after that? Because it seems like a lot of things would have happened really quickly, unless the actual poisoning was a lot slower than you'd think. That's looking pretty likely at the moment. Okay, I know that was us, right? I know it was. But that echo seemed to be coming from that hallway, and hearing that in this big, cavernous, what we know to be a murder scene that doesn't look like a murder scene anymore. That was a little unsettling. Then again, my brain is primed to anticipate things like that. Kind of have a whole channel about it. Oh, am I kidding? I have a whole existence about it. Can you guys be returned? You don't count as such an object. And bottles are notoriously hard to set down. Oh. I don't have a follow-up to that. I just expected it to fall over and it didn't. That or spin endlessly. Also, I can hear myself hitting those pool balls all through the furniture. Well, I'm at least going to put them back on the table, right? Also, is anybody stuffing any $100 bills in these pits? Okay, come with me. Here's your pleb chair. Oh, we've got to bring the whole table back.
It's fine now.
You sound unsure. Also, we are shattering the glass. Or are we? In any case, yep, you're coming out for this. Did not like the sound that was making, but it seems like it gave me a bit of a grace period. This is only 52% of the blood in the bar area, according to this thing. There's a lot more hiding throughout. Spraying up on the ceilings. Breaking things up above. I suppose it's a good compromise, though. A game like this could very easily feel extremely glitchy. Like you're losing objects and making levels impossible to complete, so I think they've erred on the side of caution. Because I've only had to restart one level completely ever. And it was the last level of the community DLC. You are not for here. You're for one of these tables. You know, they say that when all the pool balls are back on the table, the end times can commence. See, this is the stuff I'm interested in. Those little traces. That's the eye for detail. Clean all of you. I could do without knocking tables and chairs over when I do this. I feel like that's a little much for a mop. Like, even pushing against these things, I feel like I'd struggle to move them much. They look heavy. Against certain surfaces, though, the UV light can make things even harder to see. This isn't still considered the bar area, is it? It is. Well, that explains some things. You belong here. Because somebody needs to sit here and watch disapprovingly as their money is squandered. This leads upstairs to the boss's office. I'm gonna hold off on that. This, I think, is what we really need. Yeah, this door should be locked, look at that, but the door jammed it, preventing it from fully engaging. Alright, well, you can go there. We're still on the hunt for another chair. You go there. We've got the restrooms, thankfully fairly clean. Wait, everybody was poisoned and nobody thought to come to the restrooms to peek their stuff up? You go there. There's still plenty missing, though. It's always the bathrooms that don't have a speck on them. It's the exact opposite of what I experienced at the school. Although this is an entirely expected sight. Hey, is it gonna say I need to pick up the garbage in the trash can? No, that would be really, really funny. I don't know. This looks like it might go even a bit deeper than the door we saw down there. Somebody came this way, which means it's pertinent to our interests. Oh boy, this is definitely a place for the UV light. Nope, we are here. But we still don't have that card, do we?
Won't budge. I need to find a matching card.
I bet the boss has one. I've never seen the wave appear before me like that before. Okay, this explains everything. There was a lot of stuff hiding. Come on. Over the rail you go. These are the shortcuts that make life more convenient.
My janitor training comes in handy once again.
Kowalski, let's face it, at this point, it's not your janitor training. Your janitor skills are good because of your crime scene cleaning training.
It's hard to get used to this.
Yeah, but it's been years. Unfortunately, this means some new nightmares, probably. We don't need the flashlight when the UV light is here. It just makes things harder. And that's both mops dirty. So we need to bring up another bucket. You there. You seem well equipped for the task. Yep, that's why I brought you. One of my favorite genres of comedy is acting like really, really obvious things are a crazy coincidence to help you out. See, around here I can never tell what's part of the art and what's actual bloodstains. I feel like I would have a hard time in this position resisting the urge to leave a bloodied painting behind, but no one would ever know. They would walk past it, not having any idea that it's the one remnant of the mass murder that took place right where they're standing, a murder that will never be known. Instead, I just walk around and leave all the faucets running. Oh god, it is so satisfying to see these messes just melt away. Especially when you turn around and look back. But you belong other places. Yep. See, the first thing is always to look right next door to where something was dropped. The second thing is all the way in outer space, usually. Now, where would a bar stool like you go? Probably up here. There you are. We are precisely halfway through putting back all the furniture in the bar. That was a weird sound. That sounded like I was monitoring a mic and somebody just grabbed it. You know, that's disturbing because the mic is right in front of my face, and that was probably an in-game sound effect, but I can hear myself as I'm recording, and that would be really weird if that were indeed the source.
Hi, Pete. Dave here. Listen, the girl you like, Amber, didn't come today, but I can offer you something truly special. 2 for the price of 1. So enjoy, and don't forget to sign me up for your next big event.
Amber showed up a little later, but not as you would expect.
She doesn't seem all that broken up by the loss of her accomplice. Come on.
Back where it belongs.
That's where it belongs? And how it belongs? Oh, well, that's why. Magic. Kowalski's got really quick hands. Just don't ask him to use them for anything good.
I need to clear the way first.
You know, I could have learned my lesson. For some reason, I thought this time will be different. I have such an aversion to actually moving the physics objects that sometimes it's almost more psychologically acceptable to break them. And look at that, your placeable area actually seems to move with you. Have we seen that before? Well, no, because in your case it seems like you were in the right place the first time. You would have no idea. See, there's a good use of our magic skills. And here's the smoker section. HG 1000 equals key to healthy living. Hands down, the best supplement on the market. A real life changer. Dave Brawl, pro fighter, health coach, and wellness advocate. And I guess it was in the middle of a big sale. Yeah, it makes sense that somebody like this would be selling supplements. We've got a regular chair that can be moved to someplace where there isn't one. A couple of these, actually. And now we've got 2 of these granddad chairs. Where do they belong? There's not much of a mess here. We can throw. They don't actually seem to go in, though. Oh, it's a mini game. Couple of bullseyes in there. Couple of not so great ones. Yep. It's really all about fighting the mouse. I lose. Against myself, apparently. Wow, this is a lot easier than the dart mechanics in most games. Yep. Yep. And... Yep. I don't know what any of this means, to be honest. I lose. Although apparently I was close. Do we have to hit exactly the remaining 150? Okay, can we skip our last shot? What we would need to do is get 225s then. Alright? Can potentially get it here. It actively fights you. There we go. And we win! God, that was weird. That felt really weird. But we've got it now. And made a huge mess. Whoa. Sewers, an escape tunnel. Well, not much of an escape tunnel. No way. You're just hidden from view. I thought that was a raincoat at first, but no! Look at that! You're the escaped Freddy Fazbear Chica mascot thing. Pop those balloons. Wow, even robots float down here. And up close, you're looking disturbingly realistic. Follow the pizza trail. Dave's lair.
This place smells like pizza and ooze.
I was making a joke about Ninja Turtles. Oh, let's get looting. $700 there. We do not need to keep the pizza. Master Splinter, you just sit there on the couch like a helpless toddler while your place gets burglarized.
Ever since I was a kid, I've dreamt about being a Ninja Turtle. Living in the sewers and eating pizza. They've inspired me to become the fearless warrior I am today. What I didn't have was a wise sensei, even though there were always rats and snitches around.
Well, he was living the dream.
They actually just came out and name-dropped it. This game is fearless. You put a half pipe in the sewer. Can I mess with that? No. But I can check out this copyright infringing idol. Well, I took it. It's a custom bucket. A pack of misfits from the sewers. They keep themselves busy eating pizza, skating, and playing bar games. Okay, well, obviously we're going to use that now. We can even choose the color to our favorite Ninja Turtle. Fishy mice. Kick the bucket. Okay, well, Red seems like too standout a color. Blue seems like the perfect contrast. Oh, hey, I just saw that mannequin head staring from up there. See, this game, it always goes hard with its secrets. They're always worth doing in the end. Maybe I could have done that first. Let me up. Now, are those buckets going to retroactively be changing on me? It seems that they are. This is such a funny game. Oh, clearly, we've still got a lot of work to do. So technically, this is still the bar area. Oh my god. Ghosts were real for a second.
Innocent bystanders in a place like this.
Hang on. Can I can't quite get over. No shortcuts in a place like this either, it seems. Also, there's some very high up blood there. Let's just take a moment to clean our mops in the Ninja Turtles for the first time. God, that is not a sentence I ever thought I'd find myself saying. And you go. Still don't have that card. Yeah, at this stage, that would already be a really convenient shortcut, wouldn't it? So let's get you all set up and brought up front. There you go. The infinite detergent upgrade, it just makes all the difference. I never used it in the base game, and everything took so much longer as a result. Oh, but I was spending so much time screwing around in the sewers, I forgot about the process. And the process must be processed for a reason. Get that down. And get all these troubles out of our way. I love turning around and just seeing my loyal little pet just sitting here. Oh, speaking of a loyal little pet, we've forgotten to use the air cleanser. So next time we're in a big space, we'll have to pick it up. Also, we found a key card. That's going to help us big time. As well as some cash left on the table. It's literally money on the table, guys. Now we've got a bit of extra strength for the carpets, but we still may be better served using the gloves for this. Our power gloves, if you will. There we are. It even manages to pick up distinct footprints in this, like it's some other substance aside from that. Okay, well, these gloves were made for walking. So let's clean this floor. God, it makes me so upset to see stains in carpet like this, but it makes me so happy to see it all clean so readily. Let's begin picking things up. Let's begin picking things up. And you here. And now we can address this massive puddle of blood on the floor. Just think, somebody walking in here, it might take them a while to find the massive bloodbath. Can't have that.
The golden ticket to God knows where.
Probably the boxing zone, one could infer. You here? What the heck is this?
Reaching where the hand of justice couldn't.
Yeah, so much for the poisoning. This definitely was just a full-on assault by ninjas, not just weird weapons turning up in the mix of the bar fight. We are still missing chairs down there. And this door has been cleaved open. We're gonna have to finish the job. What's more suspicious, a broken door or a missing door? Probably the broken door. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of anything I can to abdicate my responsibility to remove stuff of my own power. We're up in the VIP space now.
Cleaning comes before fixing.
Yeah, that's right. I could see that being one of your mantras, considering we saw that you took to weightlifting in the intervening years. There you are. And there I are. I'll be taking that, thanks. Probably a lot of valuables up here. 1369. Written under the desk and over there. Oh, that goes to something juicy. Is there a safe behind the painting? Money never sleeps. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work. Yeah, this definitely seems like the type to internalize the self-help slogans. Oh, I just spotted a safe up there. Game has ended. Huh. Big surprise. To Sean the Man. Big surprise. Officer Gordon is coming to our after-party. I must have told you about him. He's very likely to become the chief of police in a month or two. Make sure he's having a great night. Best case scenario, one of our girls catches his eye. Do whatever you can. Dave. Maybe a blackmail operation? We can delete that. Did we do the right thing there? I mean, we obviously haven't done the right thing. Look at that! Random wins on the lotto tickets. 50, 50, and 300. Those are not bad at all for a stack that small. We really were a lucky duck. Okay, whole lot of nothing here. What was your password again? It was 1369. Not that it matters, because it's a hacking minigame. Oh, no. Yeah, look at that. For the first time, they're actually in question.
Easy peasy.
thankfully, he's also a moron, which I guess comes with the territory. What do we see up there? $300. Another $300. There's something else. Nope. Hang on, wait. Can we bring this over? A necklace worth another $300. Those cops are going to be licking their lips for civil asset forfeiture when they come here to investigate the missing people. And be real disappointed when they find nothing in the safe. An Al Capone's vault situation. Which is a very specific event that I found myself referencing on this channel far more than you'd expect. Hey, there's an open safe here. Next week, boxing matches. Connor versus Isaac. Connor wins in third. Joby versus Dave. Dave wins in fifth. Andrew versus Riddick. Andrew disqualified in third for hitting Riddick below the waist.
Either he's a psychic or just a match fixer.
Yep, and that's why he had to go. Stole money from the wrong bettor, I'm guessing. Man, a place this gaudy, it almost feels more right with the neon stains here. That's one of those things that you almost can't believe is real. All the things that can be revealed under blacklight. It seems like the kind of thing that would be made up for some sci-fi movie, but nope. Although, things being neatly sorted like this, that I'm not sure if it's quite so real. Okay, one of you has better ability to deal with situations like this. Where's that bucket? And it doesn't matter now. You're imbued with the qualities of that particular turtle. Man, if only we had a fourth bucket, I could make a different composition for each one, and it would be like utilizing each of their unique fighting styles. Also, I keep forgetting I do not need the flashlight here, and in fact it looks better if I don't use it. These levels are pretty fun. They're, you know what part of it is? Not only are they advancing the story in a cool way, but they're also very eye-pleasing, very visually pleasing. A lot of levels before had, like, some aspect of it that was just annoying. Like, the museum was cool for a one-off gimmick level, but especially coming back for the Nightmare segment, it was very, very clear that, like, man, I just didn't want to be here. It was just a job. It was just a slog, because you weren't engaging with the most interesting parts. Well, here, you're doing the furniture pickup and the blood cleanup and the everything else in equal portions, but it's so compartmentalized in each area, so unique in its design, that you're only really doing each of those things for, like, a minute at a time. So it keeps it fresh while you play, rather than getting bogged down in one thing for, like, an hour. We've yet to see what's around the corner here. Nope. When you know it, blood. I just gave myself one of those really bad thoughts. Imagine if we're here in the dark at this murder scene, and the thing flicks on us, so we're kind of like slapping it with the palm of our hand, and in just one of those flicks we register like the outline of a child grinning at us right in front of us. But it's gone in the flash. Goes to show, I've actually managed to spook myself a little bit with that mental image.
Right into the bucket.
Yep, put that idea right in the bucket where it belongs, and don't think about it the rest of the time we're here. If ghosts are real, there's a whole lot of them following us. Also, we happen to know for a fact that ghosts are real. Ugh, stop doing that. Office clean. Oh, and this comes right back down to here. Well, I love a good U-shape in a place like this. There is still some blood remaining, though. And some chairs which need to be returned. Thankfully, That is a bit more obvious in the moment. So you are going to go right here. You are hopefully going to remain there. But with 6 things still to return, our work is definitely cut out for us. Is that a little bit of blood in the corner? No, just a bit of light, I think. Alright, let's start combining garbage bags and do a little bit of housekeeping before we get moving. Yep. All of you combine into the white bag. I'd forgotten we could even customize the trash bags. Yep. All this stuff is broken. Yep, you guys belong up here. I've been looking for a space for you. We're gonna have to do another UV pass. So he's 30 seconds for the first thing, and then a minute for the details. You know, in slight relation to what just happened to us in this hallway here, it sort of reminds me of a story that really freaked me out when I was a kid. I read it online, and it had to do with a group of ghost hunters who were exploring what I believe was an abandoned former mental institution or something like that. And they talked about how at one point they were in the basement and they were taking their pictures in the dark, firing off the flash. And, you know, they could see each time the flash was fired off for just a split second. And at one point, one of their flashes was fired, and in that brief flash, they thought they saw a child standing on the other side of the room watching them. But of course, it's one of those fleeting things that you're like, oh wow, I'm getting way too in my own head here. And when they went to talk about it with the other, before they could even acknowledge it, they said, I saw him too. And it's stuck with me ever since. Hey, so this was upright when I was last here. This hasn't happened before, and it's happened twice in this video now. I'm starting to get a real eerie vibe from this bar, you know that? I hyped myself up on this. I knew it would be up somewhere. But how do I get there? Some acrobatics are going to be required, I think. Can I execute those acrobatics without knocking things over? That's another question. Because anytime we have to do this, you remember that the game isn't really built for it. I don't suppose there's any way for us to climb up here? Screw it, will the proton pack work? Not at this distance, it won't. And possibly not at any distance, so what am I supposed to do then? Because there's no getting over there. Wait, what? The chair fell down. When and how did that happen? I don't understand this at all. Okay. Well, you go out here into the hall. There's still another one hiding somewhere. And something else besides that. We can use the VIP card here. That saves a lot of time. Use this here. Into the boxing ring. This is gonna take a while. Oh man, where do I even start? It's essentially a whole other bar. Well, best explore the place to its fullest. This leads to the lounges, the balconies, really. And there's the catwalk, a bloodbath of its own. We don't really have a way in there either.
Dying on a date? That should be the name of a band.
Still time. Look at that. This place really thinks highly of itself. It's a monument to excess.
I think I know this guy. He had a hit rap song about golden pants or something like that.
A lot of high-profile disappearances is what I'm hearing. We kept our noses clean for so long. Congratulations. You have met the requirements set by the Eon Society. Now you become a true believer. Oh, what? You don't have anything to say about this? Scrabble. Canal, girls, rumble, money, feet. Purge, hunter, hunter.
He was trying to keep the party alive with drugs and booze until someone finally put him out of his misery.
A clearly slit throat you've got. Thankfully you don't stain the place up too much when you die. Or when you're dropped. Nobody in the booth, but
Hello,
Benjamin.
Mr. President.
Oh, what is this? The maintenance room. I can probably open some things this way, right? Wow, look at all this. Classic Art Hall, opened in 2023 with support of a grant from Joel and Teresa Holden Foundation. And it's mirrored on the back, that's kind of funny. Yep, this is its own scene. This is a huge level. Okay, we open the cage. Now we can collect our prize.
So good to see you again, Senator Holden.
I don't think I had the pleasure.
Oh, you had. In your mansion with many of my girls. Listen, I need to take the chief of police off my back.
Why would I do that? I'm a highly respected politician.
Yeah, and you don't want your voters to know about your parties or your countless trips to a certain island.
How dare you?
Age is just a number, right? No one has to know. We just need a new dog in the office. One that barks but doesn't bite. Get it done.
A criminal and a senator talking as equals.
Well, it's a very similar game. Okay, I'll clean up a little bit of what's here first. Actually, I'll clean up a lot of what's here. Free of charge, even. But right now, I'm mostly interested in seeing where all this goes. Actually, it sounds like I know where this goes. Right to the top. Hey! Are you hiding something? Nope, just a jump scare. And we made our way around. Look, you were tied here and tortured. They left a lot of their weapons behind.
One pole dance too far. If I hadn't known who's to blame here, I'd probably accuse some teenage mutants.
How did I not make that connection before? That they are the ones who rose up out of their lair in the sewers and slaughtered all? Well, slaughter all we continue to do. How many bodies is that? I don't think that accounts for all 12, does it? There should be 8 in this pile down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I only count 5. You're our star. Sometimes we settle for something a bit more rudimentary. No regrets. Yeah, you would be one of those.
They dragged him into the ring just to torture him. Can't imagine a greater humiliation for a fighter.
Dave got the knockout punch he deserved, but he was just a pawn. I wonder what his powerful friends are up to. Should we pay them a visit?
Amber, don't you think that maybe you've done enough?
Oh, don't be silly. I'm just getting started.
It may seem like a throwaway line, but that was really significant. Kowalski never ever would have suggested any wrongdoing on the part of Big Jim. With her, maybe he felt a little bit more comfortable, like maybe he could steer her a little bit. But he's still in no position. He started that cautiously, and he was right to be cautious because I don't think there's anything to be done there. Away you all go. 7, 8, 9. So there's still going to be a few more to go. Also, I'm still trying to solve the mystery of what's going on in that bar. But it's at least starting to seem a little bit less sprawling. A little bit less hopeless. One thing I've always loved about this game is its inarguably unique tone. I mean, this is a game about witnessing generational bad decisions pile up and manifest in the next one. Trying to guide it in a way with those paternal instincts, knowing it's not our place to do so. And at the same time, we're cleaning up a scene that was caused by the freaking Ninja Turtles being paid to carry out a hit. Okay. Mops out. Nah, it really is going to be better. Even with the added bonuses, it's going to be better to use the sponges. So let's grab this. Clean you. I should be taking the area effects for this. But it's doing well enough. Bring out you to make sure we're getting it all. It always seems like a lot, but go with past influences. We know that this will be... It always seems like a lot, but we know this will all be done in no time. Man, I really worked myself up with that ghost story earlier, huh? Like, I got distracted for a little bit with this new area, but I'm still thinking about it. And all the weird things that have been happening. Speaking of thinking about things, I want to see you in the ring, Kerfus. Alright, I forgot you have a unique voice. Ooh! Oh, we had to really rehearse for that move.
Hello there.
Hello?
Okay, that one. The classic one that we always used. Meanwhile, we can finish with this. Oh, we're gonna need you to hit me up a little bit more. No, no, no. See, why'd I do that to myself? I'd forgotten about the haunting voice of the ghost child echoing throughout these halls. How far away we could hear you from. According to this counts as evidence.
I never would have thought Big Jim's daughter would be a ring girl in a place like this.
Really? What did you expect? A mobster goes missing, and his daughter becomes who? A famous actress? A business icon? Just do your job, Mr. Janitor.
Maybe we really should. Alright, so that's finished. We sure do. So there is some nuance to her character. Maybe she enjoys it, maybe not. Maybe it's also a facade on her part to crack jokes. She definitely bears more responsibility than we do, but I don't know. It seemed a little bit in that dialogue like she's reflective of her situation as well, and just doesn't see another way. So she's just doing what she knows. Let's collect a whole bunch of this. The good news about this is that even for being so far away from the start, it's right next to it. And that's the thing, this can be a game to zone out to, or it can be a very reflective one. It is very, very dense with storytelling, but it really doesn't pay to pay mind to it if that's not what you're here for. But sometimes turning off the headphones can be a very reflective experience.
First things first, gotta scrub, scrub, scrub.
Alright, where's the viscera then? Oh, there it is.
I should clean it first.
Yeah, I know.
There is still some work to do.
Now, if the description is
No
anything
one
to
will
go
even
by,
notice.
you should be making all of this much easier to clean, and good timing, because you're done. There we go. See, just a little bit of extra prep, everything becomes so much easier. The lighting is doing crazy things as I move my view. But that's the electrician's problem, not mine. Wow, we already absorbed a whole lot of blood, though. One thing that might be a good idea is to keep a bucket of regular water, so that we don't have to detergent up as much. There we go, now we're getting no blood in it, but we are still getting the detergent effects back. Whoa!
I miss you.
See, we are showing off all kinds of moves today. Kowalski could have made it in all kinds of industries. He's got the aptitude. Yeah, this stuff may be easier to clean, but it certainly doesn't take up less space in our inventory. Whoop.
Oh, you.
I call the mop my inventory. Okay, you hang out up here and just start preemptively preparing this.
To clean up.
Meanwhile, we'll work here. Oh, this one doesn't have it. Night and day difference. Night and day difference, and I went the whole game not even knowing. One other strategy is to kind of do things as you go. Clean the blood first, then pick everything up. In the beginning, I was taking it in stages, but that kind of invites boredom because it inevitably means that you spend the last hour just picking up furniture and garbage. I think part of that is a holdover from the Viscera cleanup detail days, where there was much more incentive to take out the bloody stuff first. Because that game... Well, this is something I always talk about. At the dawn of a new genre, especially an unexpected genre like cleaning as a form of entertainment, they kind of refine the mechanics and hone in on the stuff people actually want to see. With Viscera Cleanup Detail, it was novel, a game where you play as the people who come in after the action shooter. The relation to the action shooter, it was a subversion of expectations, that was the whole appeal of it. But turns out, people actually really like to do this Zen stuff. And so, Crime Scene Cleaner, being sort of a distant cousin to that, it focuses on that. It takes away the more annoying comedic elements of the gameplay, like spilling stuff on you constantly, and focuses on that being the enjoyable part. I want to mop, so stop interrupting my mopping. Okay, where do you belong? Right here? So the chair goes not there.
There is still some work to do.
So much trash. Let's combine it with our existing trash. You've got to be returned to the bar. All this, we've only cleaned 38% of the blood. And I'm proud of that. You do or don't belong here. Okay, well, we took this other guy's spot. There's a few of these just free-floating. Yeah, you really need the detective mode for furniture. Yep.
Let's get rid of that.
And that, and that, and that. Oh, hey, there's a there's a guy back here. Demolished in comedic fashion. Well, you gotta learn to laugh in this kind of work. Find levity where you can, I suppose. Let's take anything that might be broken. That includes you, sir. Get in. Do you know how much easier this job would be if we could just mulch bodies?
Hangout. Must have been deep in their pockets.
Well, I guess the good news is we don't have to worry about this particular corruption being exposed. What with him, his blackmailer, and the actual laptop gone.
Undercover, sir.
Another shuriken in the wall. We're gonna have to watch out for these. They can be anywhere. And also, what am I doing? Let's bring out the pressure washer. This is all tile floor. We've got sinks right nearby. Yeah, what have I been doing? Even here it works quickly. Although not exactly efficient. This game gets so ridiculous with all the unlockables. But honestly, at that point, that's just an issue of you control the buttons you press. Can't blame a game for giving you options. And by that I mean, very many people can absolutely furiously go online and be angry at a game for giving you options. We gotta be careful though, because I'm pretty sure this will shred those vases. And look at that. As it runs out, we're up to 50%. Oh. I found another one of your bodies.
Were they trying to flush him down the toilet? What is this? High school?
Kind of reminds me of the first time she engineered something like this. Last time it was unintentional, but she's honing her craft. Daddy would be so proud. I mean, with a big disaster like that, and Big Jim not even flinching, of course they were all doomed to end up this way. I'm reassured to know this is at least most of the trash. But we can recharge you in here. Thanks, yeah. Oh, come on. Such awkward controls to put this thing on. Mark. Either I took acid and forgot about it, or some insane cosplayers just started slaying everyone. I'm not a criminal. I just wanted to buy myself a decent girlfriend. Even took $50K from my mom, and now I'm trapped in this place. Oh, I'm just tripping, and all that blood is not real. It feels real, though, and it's so warm. I don't want to die a virgin.
I'm sorry your life was a mess, but people are not for sale, my friend.
Which is why I'm not so sorry, given that you were here. Guilty by association and all, and also intent. Actually, I was just thinking, given who actually carried out this massacre, you said there was a famous rapper upstairs? I wonder if his song was maybe encouraging the ninjas. Well, he said they were insane cosplayers, so I'm assuming it was the suits from 1 and 2, and not the ones from 3. But maybe that's a bit too obscure of a reference for this. Yep. There we go. And fill her up again. I said, wait, how do I take you off? No, I've got to do the whole thing. There's more stools than I can find places to put them. Thankfully, there doesn't seem to be much on the ceilings. You'll act like you want to be knocked over, but you won't actually be knocked over. You'll just make Gary's Mod stress noises. Just make... whatever. These series are always way more minimally edited than others. I'm here to hear my voice. Talk about getting spooked by ghost children I read about 20 years ago. I don't know, I've always just had this weird feeling ever since I was really young that reading about ghosts instantly attracts their awareness to you. I mean, after all, ghosts aren't necessarily tied to one location, right? They're everywhere and nowhere. And so I'd always get like really paranoid when reading certain stories that feeling that I should be looking behind me is actually the presence of the very spirit I'm reading about. That was playing a dangerous game right there, wasn't it? I almost blew everything off the table. Okay, over here, this should go really quickly since we put our Kerfus here.
miss you.
I missed you too, Kerfus. Voices of the Void base cleaning stream. I have not forgotten about it, do not you worry. Throw all this away. If I remove you, does the stuff you pre-cleaned stay pre-cleaned? Presumably it does, right? I don't see why it wouldn't be. There we go. Good stuff.
Oh, oh. Hiya.
Like that, did you? You like the gentle vibrations, the massage? I used a pressure washer exactly once in my life, and I am not somebody with a lot of muscle mass in my arms, and so by the time I was done, my arm was like shaking and it would not stop all day. Cleaning the blood away reveals another shuriken that we're gonna have to get rid of.
So much blood. I'm seeing red now.
I think that might just be the lighting, to be fair. We're filling up our bags again. This is taking quite a while, but not nearly as long as it could. It's a very encouraging level design-wise for the reasons I explained before. I still think we could use that UV light up here, though. Oop. Where do you belong? Hey? I mean, you probably belong over here, but what I could do is bring you up to the bar and use you to settle a long-standing problem. Now, technically, well, there's still a mystery something somewhere. And I've spent a lot of time walking around hitting Q. That's annoying.
I miss you.
Still 19% blood. A lot more is being missed by me than, like, ever. A lot more is blending in. These are the kind of things we can't afford to miss. For a second, because of your pain, I thought you were covered in blood. No, that life is behind you now. Some stains left under the couch. That's incredibly dangerous to our continued freedom.
Have you forgotten me, senpai?
No, I haven't. A little bit right here. We are literally just mopping up. And by literally mopping, I mean literally sponging. This still counts as here. Ooh. I haven't even been up here to the photo op. Still counts as the ring.
Separate changing rooms for winners and losers. Is this the future worth fighting for?
I guess for someone. But me, I'm just happy to have the mixtape. Look, I'm not willing to let mixtapes go with tapes. What are you? Dave says, Lars gave me a good offer for both Marnie and Carla. Sean says, cool. I heard he needs a lot of girls for a private party or something. Yeah, he's got some kind of mountain retreat. He should totally invite us. Like, WTF, man? He will, trust me. Also, he's interested in Amber as well. She might be doing a Taken all the way to the top.
So, Dave had 2 rings here. A boxing ring and a trafficking ring.
And now he's got no rings. A funny number. These. That's almost all the trash. No, correction. This'll be all the trash.
Believe me, I can relate.
Hard to believe. 30 years in a ring, and this is the best I can do? Being a punching bag for influencers and mobsters? Humiliating myself week after week just to pay off my gambling debts? I was this close to being a heavyweight world champion. If not for some low blows, I would have gotten that belt. They stole my future that night. Alright, so Mike Tyson and Logan Paul
It's
both
better
died
to
here.
Die quickly than to lose one fixed fight after another.
He just had to knowingly humiliate himself over and over. That's how far he had fallen. And you go.
Fight is over, old man.
Technically, we can leave, but I think we all know we're far from finished. So much red as well. It's like this thing's addressing all my complaints I had about the UV light being cool, but not really necessary in a lot of levels. We're still only at 82%. All of you are where you're supposed to be. Nope, everything needs to be lined up over here. Right, I'd forgotten there was so much behind the bar. That'll be salt, not cocaine. I mean, you can always easily sell one as the other. It's just that people will be mad when
It's
they
not like
find
they
out.
need it anymore.
Or maybe this is your way of telling me exactly how it's cut. And there's also just a big old brick right there, so really, I'm getting all kinds of good fortune today. But now I made myself sad because I can't help but think of what some of the ages of the victims here would have been all the way back when I did my first spree. At what point does this become the lounge? At the top of the stairs, it seems. There's like one piece of trash somewhere, and it's really bothering me. Well, we need all of these placed along the side. Nope. Oh, well, there's one already there. So that means you go in the final slot. You're still here. I never did enter this bathroom, did I? Any dollar bills in the garbage? Stranger things have happened. But no, nothing here. Well, look, there's a table. And some more cocaine. This thing had $11,000 base pay. Do all of you count as having to be placed back properly? You do? Okay, you were all just a pixel off, I guess. So that means we're close to wrapping this up. Oops. Yet you tell me that you're full right before you're actually full. This room was cleaned. You are not clean. I'll have to confiscate that for you so as to protect your image when you're missing. But this would have been, like, a big event, right? Like, I'm sure they didn't advertise where they were going, given what's happening here. But this is a lot of high-profile people just disappearing at once, where in previous missions, it was all just, like, low-level nobodies. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe the problem here is that this is gonna blow back on Amber a lot more than she thinks. There's all the blood. Now we just need that last piece of trash hiding somewhere. First aid kits. Come on, there's something good hiding in the loser's locker room. Oh, come on, it's like the losers don't have anything. Yep, that's all. There is definitely a secret here, though, I'll tell you that. And I know where you go. Yep, we need to grab you. And bring you back, and you'll act probably as a weight to open that door. See, you gotta earn that extra pay. Dave's Karaoke. This is that infer-like sense of humor I've come to love from this game. Tragedy and comedy are just a hair away at any given moment. And we've got another tape. Seems like somebody got a little angry at how they were botching this. A guy like this with anger issues? No way. And the drugs probably aren't helping. Now you... No, you couldn't be the one who got angry. You're just here to party and sing. You're the one survivor because the turtles recognize that you're the voice that these people need. Oh, there it is. And with that, the boxing ring is cleaned. Oh, hey, you look like something. Thank you for $50.
Have you forgotten me,
We need
senpai?
to go upstairs now. Alright, none of this should be particularly difficult to clean, but you're going over here, so that you can work on that while I work on the other stuff. We'll bring out a second UV light. This area is, like, at least a little more complex in terms of, like, mentally organizing it, but it shouldn't be too bad. Especially if we find more money on the ground. See, having multiple things to draw your attention, that's what's important in a setting like this. We can focus on finding secrets, or a particular part of the task, or trying to get some extra money out of it, even if it only translates to upgrades that we can't use because we're fully upgraded. Thank you. Thank you. It's a whole own new place. This probably is one of the larger scale ones we've ever done, right? I mean, it has to be. We've done maps with a lot of bodies before, but over this large of an area? I mean, it's got to be second only to, like, the museum or the factory. Or warehouse, I mean. And this is only level 2 of the DLC. Part of me kind of hopes they aren't all this big. Because that would be insane. Alright, you know what? Our best bet would be to clear these things out of the way, because a bigger mess makes it feel more like it's overwhelming. A puddle of blood on the ground doesn't look like anything. A puddle of blood under a bunch of things feels
I can't
hopeless.
put it back like that.
No handprints for you. Then again, we've also got to clean the area under them. Do not hit the glasses. Unless someone's wearing them. That's how the saying goes, right? Or I say saying, it's more like last-ditch plea. Uttered by nerdy kids everywhere in the 80s and 90s, if movies are to be believed, which they are.
No play.
Always, without question.
Goddamn.
random tangent, but then again, that's what you watch these Zen videos for. Anybody seen The Dead Don't Die? I'm pretty sure it's the only Jim Jarmusch movie that I've seen. And, well, Jim Jarmusch movies are known for their very, like, specific sense of humor. And the movies tend to be very polarizing. Either you like them or you don't. And I ended up not really liking The Dead Don't Die.
I should clean it first.
Typically, I try to avoid bringing up movies in conversation here because I don't want random spoilers in the middle of this, so I'm not going to be getting in-depth with plot points or anything. But there is a joke in that movie that I find really interesting,
First things first. Gotta
simply
scrub,
because
scrub,
of the
scrub.
thought process I had when experiencing it, and I think it was deliberate. Because at one point, the zombies are all marching down the street. The town has clearly fallen, and it's almost pitch black. There's some light from the sky, a couple lights in windows, but for the most part it is very, very dark. And you can just see the silhouettes of the zombies in the street. And all of them holding a phone. So the brightest thing about the image are these little glowing squares moving in rhythm with each of them. And it's really, really striking and neat. But also, it makes you roll your eyes and go, oh, look at this boomer making a joke about how, like,
Cleaning
oh,
comes
people with
before
phones are
fixing.
zombies. But the unique thing to that joke is that you start to realize that it's not a joke about people with phone being zombies, it's a joke about the fact that the movie is making that joke. So I'm left in the very strange position of,
First things first.
I guess, kind of
Gotta scrub,
angry
scrub, scrub.
liking it. This is always the worst. Okay, finally. I was really thinking there was going to be, like, blood underneath it or something. Nothing here. Alright, we're making progress. And already it's all less intimidating. Let's just wipe down the catwalk.
I miss you.
And I miss you. Sometimes I gotta step away for a moment, you know that.
ミスハーツ
All against the glass. There's one body in here. I don't know if all this blood can be accounted for by a dozen bodies. Then again, you'd be surprised at how much one can hold. Get so annoyed every time I see that red come up, and I know I'm gonna have to toss that out and probably forget about it until later.
Notice me, senpai.
I notice you every day. And now we move on to the staircase. At what point exactly does this start to become the maintenance room? As soon as we step in, that's when. So that little find actually did pay off. It's just that we didn't know where it went until
Just
later.
Think of the money. Think of the money.
Yep. Making all this money in a night is a pretty good incentive,
Have you forgotten?
but it's also a pretty good break from the routine, and admit it, part of you is glad for this. Hey. They also looted the safe. I just noticed that from the direction of the footprints. Well, of course, there's nothing valuable in here. But just think of all the valuables they could have taken, unless, more likely, they were looking for something specific, which wasn't this. And that's room cleared. We can actually shortcut back to the other side. which is also clear, which means the only thing we still have to do is down the other way. So much mess. And according to this, we're still only 62% of the way through the Blood in the Lounge. Sometimes it is psychologically helpful just to jump in on the biggest stuff first, even if something else makes sense. Or, I don't know, I'm trying to organize my thoughts here, just like I'm trying to organize the mess. Also, you're having a really hard time picking stuff up in a chain right now for some reason. I guess what I mean is that breaking a large task down into smaller tasks, you'll want to change even that up. You'll want to change the way you break it up. You're technically full, but something I just realized, the turtle buckets aren't able to show when they're full. They don't seem to have a texture for when they're bloody. There's the last of the trash. I'm hoping with the last of my mop I can take all this, but I'm not sure I'll be able to. I guess you could say they kicked the bucket, huh? Well, you could say that if... I'm pretty sure the game already made that joke somewhere. Can't remember where. I'm really shocked that they started us off with something of this scale. Well, granted, there was the dream sequence. Remove. We're very nearly done. Just a little bit more. Oh, the surfaces here are so inviting. Especially in the community DLC, there was so much carpet. And on a large scale, that can get tedious. Granted, we were able to solve that with detergents a little bit. But when it just comes off like that... so satisfying. Got that. And now this murder mystery is going to find itself somewhat lacking in evidence. Oh. There's going to be an excess of furniture here, I'm hoping, that can solve our problem at the bar. That's what I'm still betting on. Oh, look at that. We've got some hidden blood. Yo! Good thing I can't die. It's one of Kowalski's special traits. Well, we've got the tool for that. Where was it? There. A bit still around. 5%, just 5% in this whole place. It's hiding in here somewhere. It would be very easy to miss were we in True Cleaner. That's pretty easy to miss. Oh, well, that'll do it. Thankfully, I have just the thing for the job. That's the ticket. Also, how am I going to pay those scalped ticket prices with this stuff here? We've got to be close to doubling our money on this job. But there's still some furniture that's being wonky. table here. You go here. That means we're missing at least one more. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. There was a table down here. It must have fallen over the edge. Only problem, that means we're still on the hunt in the bar area. I haven't forgotten. There you are. Oh, hey. We know what it is now. It's you. Just slightly out of place. There we go. Okay, that could have been a lot worse than it was. So we're done here. We've got the bar. We've got the office. Staff area is done. Then there's just the ring, the lounges, the maintenance areas, which are all done. I think that's 100%, but not quite, because there's still the matter of the kegs. There's gotta be something to do with this, right? The duck pedestal? This has to be a door. It goes to the floor for no reason. You're holding a key. You can't tell me there's not something to this. What if I'm just violent about it? No, I didn't... We just have to walk right through! Oh, it's... the ghost kitty room. Oh, they're babies, though. Look at them, they're being babies. Their portrait is here. Okay, well, I can't take one and not the other, right? There's a lot of music discs on this map. Google Translate says that roughly this should say a cleaner life. It certainly is. Project modernity, become kidder. Interesting flag here as well. What I was thinking earlier is that maybe this corresponds to something up above. Like, 'cause those look like they go up here. Oh, yes, yes. This'll do it. Alright, so it's elder, this, red, green. Elder, yellow, red, green. Come on. Elder, yellow. Come on. Red, green. All that for garbage lullaby. Garbage truck ran me over while I was sleeping on the street. But then I wrote this song. Pain inspires art. Alright, after one last sweep, I think that's everything. Let's head out. That took a while. Well, we got a perfect score on that at least. And how about the secrets? I'm wondering if there wasn't maybe one more that I'm missing. Wow. Just shy of 20 grand in one night. We found like 4 different music cassettes. So we must have done pretty well. There's a lot of new music in this. Oh, looks like we got everything. Okay, our record continues. Wow, I just got a whole bunch of achievements. And we're back in the life. Look at you, just waiting for me.
Daddy is a criminal now. But you're still a good boy.
And you always will be. I wonder if selecting a different act doesn't actually change this place. We got everything we ever wanted, but there's just no way out. In the base game, I was very surprised with how well things ended for us. And I was scared coming into an Act 2. I like that they found the balance where it feels appropriately bittersweet now. They let us have our victory, and yet we're drawn back in, letting us know that we didn't end things as neatly as we had hoped, and we probably never can. But for some time, we've still got you at least, Dexter. And we've got another 20 grand in our pocket, so that sweetens the deal also. I thought I'd feel less responsibility, but that hasn't happened. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.